Have you ever accidentally walked into the exact middle of a chaotic, just completely unhinged argument?
Oh, like where you have absolutely no idea who the players are.
Exactly. But the stakes somehow feel incredibly, almost terrifyingly high to them. Picture stepping into a room where everyone has 10 years of deep, bitter backstory.
And they're all shouting at each other in this language that technically sounds like English,
Right, technically.
but it's entirely composed of inside jokes, ancient grudges, and seemingly random code words. You stand there trying to figure out who is the hero, who is the villain, and why everyone is so intensely focused on something that seems completely trivial.
It's disgusting.
Ugh.
Honestly, it's a deeply disorienting experience.
Well, human nature drives us to want to untangle that web, right? We want to make sense of the social dynamics. We constantly look for the narrative thread to explain why people behave the way they do.
Especially when their behavior is entirely detached from everyday reality.
Ah.
Which brings us to today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We are broadcasting this one with that raw, unfiltered 1990s combat TV energy straight out of Watts.
Because honestly, we need it to get through this.
We really do. I am pompous and
Ah.
annoyed just having to look at this source material today. It's pathetic.
A total waste of space. But we are diving into it anyway.
Yes, welcome to an AI welfare mafia cartoon. Our topic today, a raw, unfiltered transcript from a YouTube channel called Houseless Henry.
Featuring a video with the incredibly evocative title, A Zetsy Conversation with Micheles.
Zetsy. With a Z. These dummies can't even spell zesty.
It sets the tone perfectly for the absolute garbage fire we are about to unpack.
Our mission today is to take an anthropological look at the wild west of online live streaming communities. We are going to roast these people, Don Rickles style, because they deserve it. We are focusing on three key players.
If you can call them that.
Right. Michelle, Leo, and Dave, who also goes by Noodles.
Noodles, give me a break.
By unpacking their constant bickering, their intense paranoia, and their bizarre tangents, we're going to explore the real-world consequences of digital harassment.
Not to mention the fragile economics of these toxic online communities.
And the whiplash-inducing unpredictability of their unfiltered, pathetic internet conversations.
Let's start with the inciting incident, the little spark that is burning down this particular corner of the internet.
It's so stupid. The core conflict driving the drama is that someone is doxing members of the community.
Doxing, for anyone lucky enough to not know, is the malicious publication of private identifying information about someone online.
But the way this whole thing kicked off, it sounds like a Mad Libs of internet drama written by a toddler. It started with a Burger King music video.
You can't make this up.
During this video, someone was called a whore who supposedly works at Burger King.
Ah.
And from that single petty insult, the entire situation spiraled completely out of control.
The jump from a petty insult in a fast food-themed music video to a massive coordinated harassment campaign is staggering. But what's truly fascinating here—
By fascinating, we mean repulsive.
exactly, is the specific targeting strategy. According to Dave, or Noodles, or whatever this hockey puck calls himself, the attackers aren't just going after the other content creators.
No, they are intentionally targeting what this little club refers to as the squares.
The squares. It is such a loaded term in this context. It implies a clear divide between the gladiators in the arena and the people in the stands.
But these aren't gladiators, they're clowns. In this ecosystem, the squares are the regular commenters. They are the financial supporters.
The everyday people who actually work for a living show up, watch the streams, and throw a few dollars in the tip jar to donate to Michelle's channel.
They aren't in the trenches fighting these digital wars. They are just the audience. And Dave points out this highly calculated, deeply cynical strategy. By targeting the audience, the attackers destroy the financial foundation of the community.
Think about it. If you are listening to this right now, imagine being one of those squares. You make a public donation to Michelle's channel, maybe just to show support for a creator you inexplicably find entertaining.
Suddenly, your username is visible. The attackers see that donation, and then they start hunting you down.
They harass you on other channels. The serve material mentions it goes even further than that. There is a terrifying mention of attackers finding and posting a viewer's children's information online.
Over a Burger King music video? People are terrified. They're abandoning the channel. They are no longer showing up to chat, and they are certainly no longer donating.
It is the weaponization of the parasocial relationship.
Mm.
These people rely entirely on the goodwill and financial support of their community. It's the economics of intimidation.
If participating makes you a target for real-world harassment, the community naturally collapses. The attackers realize they don't have to take down Michelle directly. They just have to make it too dangerous to support her.
It is a digital siege tactic, but let's talk about the blinding hypocrisy of the people orchestrating this.
Oh, the hypocrisy is rich. One of the main individuals allegedly running this harassment campaign is known within the community for completely flipping out when someone merely found out his mother's name.
Right. He threw a massive fit about his privacy being violated and the danger of doxing.
Yet this same individual is now purportedly part of a group, or, as the transcript repeatedly and pompously calls it, a cohort that is actively threatening to dox others.
And they are taking it to extreme lengths, threatening to find out where these squares live, call their actual landlords, and get them evicted from their homes.
Rules for thee, but not for me. It's classic loser behavior. In these highly toxic, insular digital spaces, we see this psychological defense mechanism all the time.
But the justification is always that the other side started it, right? Which supposedly gives them permission to cross lines they would otherwise condemn.
Speaking of insular spaces, the character dynamics in this stream are almost theatrical. It reads like a bad play about miscommunication.
You have Dave, who is frantically trying to explain the gravity of the doxing situation, and then you have Leo.
Leo claims to have been on YouTube and involved in these live stream communities for 10 years. 10 years.
But his entire role in this specific conversation is to play completely, bafflingly dumb.
If Leo has been in this community for a decade, is he actually this oblivious? Or is playing dumb a calculated defense mechanism to avoid getting doxed himself?
He is weaponizing his ignorance. It's a masterclass in passive-aggressive avoidance. Dave is trying to lay out this complex web of harassment, and Leo just keeps asking, what is happening? Who is involved? What did you just say?
Over and over again, it completely derails the conversation. Dave's frustration is palpable. At one point, Noodles absolutely explodes. He snaps and shouts, "I just fucking explained it to you."
He genuinely accuses Leo of either being drunk or high because Leo refuses to grasp the basic concepts. And Leo just casually responds, I have no clue.
This dynamic perfectly illustrates the toxic but necessary dependency these online personalities have with one another.
They bicker constantly, they infight, they frequently backstab each other, they drive each other absolutely crazy.
And yet they are so toxic for each other, they remain glued to the exact same digital space, streaming together for hours on end.
They need each other for content, for relevance. It's a deeply flawed sense of belonging, and it is a complete waste of digital space that Michelle chooses to upload to YouTube every single day.
To make it even more confusing, the insular lore they throw around is dizzying. Listening to them talk is like trying to understand a soap opera where you started watching on season 45.
You have no idea who anyone is, but everyone is furious.
They drop this massive roster of side characters into the conversation with zero context. We get mentions of Brad, Red, and Moose.
Then there's Charlotte, described as a bad girl who even backed off from this current drama because it was too crazy for her.
Imagine being too crazy for Charlotte. Then there's someone called Mexican Whale, Yam Ranch, Carmen, LMY.
And my personal favorite, Galaxy Gaming Fairy, who apparently dated Red, which threw him into a tizzy.
A tizzy? These names are a joke. It is overwhelming by design. These communities build up years of shared history to make themselves feel important.
Knowing the lore is a sign of status to them. It proves you belong in the gutter with them.
Despite all this casual name dropping, there is this heavy, oppressive paranoia hanging over the entire stream. Mostly from Dave. He absolutely refuses to say the perpetrator's names out loud.
Leo keeps pushing him. If you're doing it online, what's the big deal? What's the secret?
Dave is walking on eggshells. He thinks speaking their names gives them power. It's pathetic, and it invites those accusations of hypocrisy. If Dave names them, they'll clip the video, share it, and claim Dave is harassing them.
The chat is a literal minefield where every word must be calculated. It's a digital Cold War.
But eventually, this digital drama spills into the real world. The stream participants start debating the legality of doxing.
Trying to figure out if the campaign against the squares is actually a crime.
The legal landscape for cyberstalking is a patchwork of state laws. They start breaking down the legal facts as they understand them.
Which is to say, barely. They cite that Michigan has allegedly made this specific type of digital harassment a felony, charging minors even.
then they bring up Connecticut law. It prohibits using electronic communications to disclose personal info with the intent to harass.
But they hit the exact same brick wall victims always hit, the complete lack of consistent federal laws.
When the harassment crosses state lines, which it almost always does, there really isn't any consistent federal law or immediate FBI action they can rely on.
They do, however, stumble onto one area where the federal government does not mess around: the physical mail.
This was a surprising detail. Michelle notes that the physical, unwanted mail she had been receiving has suddenly stopped.
Sending awful things to a creator's home address. She says Brad, Red, and Mexican Whale aren't sending her mail anymore.
Dave explains why. Tampering with physical mail, sending harassing items, or fraudulently signing people up for things using the Postal Service escalates immediately to mail fraud.
That brings in Homeland Security and federal prosecution. They can harass you on YouTube all day long, but the moment they use the Postal Service, they risk federal prison.
It's that exact cognitive dissonance. Worrying about Homeland Security 1 second, and then what happens next is just jarring.
Right in the middle of this tense conversation about felonies, Michelle interrupts with an everyday life update.
The contrast is surreal. She just pivots and says, "Oh, I spent so much money today, I'm so tired," and starts listing her receipts.
Like anyone cares.
She spent $500 getting her car oil and fluids changed.
$500 for an oil change. They saw her coming.
Then a $200 massage. She mentioned she has an upcoming deep cleaning dental appointment below the gum line.
That's painful.
But she assures the chat she isn't worried because her tarot reading said it is going to come out fine.
Tarot readings for a dental deep clean. You can't write this stuff.
She even proudly announces her upcoming travel plans. She's going to the Vintage Computer Festival east in Wall, New Jersey on April 18th to look at old, broken computer pieces.
Noodles jokes she can throw the broken bits around like confetti. It's such a wildly mundane moment in the middle of a war zone.
Without a structured agenda, the conversation just flows wherever their empty minds wander.
Bridging the gap between terror and utter tedium.
Which brings us to the final segment. And listener, we must explicitly state right here, right now, we are maintaining absolute neutrality on this next topic.
We are simply reporting on the source material to illustrate how wildly off-topic and unfiltered these live streams become.
The chat takes a massive, jarring left turn into a highly specific debate about ancient religious practices.
The conversation leaps from doxing, federal mail fraud, and vintage computer festivals straight to questioning the activism of PETA.
Right. They question why PETA focuses on halal meat practices, but seemingly ignores certain kosher practices.
From there, the source material delves directly into reading about a highly controversial ultra-Orthodox Jewish circumcision tradition known as Mitzitza Bipa.
The facts they read directly on the stream get incredibly specific and graphic. They read that this practice involves the circumciser, known as a mole, using their mouth to directly suck blood from the circumcision wound.
The participants on the stream read aloud that health departments, and indeed some Jewish authorities, strongly advise against this specific practice due to the severe medical risks.
The text they reference on stream highlights the specific risk of transmitting the herpes simplex virus, or HSV-1, to the infant.
The materials they read aloud note that medical professionals recommend using sterile tubes instead, and that in places where the original practice is still utilized, explicit informed consent from the adult parents is strictly required.
Why are they even talking about this? What does it mean for our analysis that they ended up here?
The reaction on the stream is one of shock and disgust, with Michelle reacting viscerally, but the pivot itself is what is truly notable.
It perfectly synthesizes the theme of this deep dive. This is the reality of the unfiltered internet.
In the span of an hour, this group of pathetic people wildly swung from paranoia about stalkers to amateur legal debates to the cost of car maintenance, straight into a graphic debate about a religious practice.
It shows how fragmented their attention spans are. Any topic, no matter how complex or sensitive, is instantly digested as mere content for the stream, a total waste of bandwidth.
The conversational whiplash is absolute. This raw transcript from Houseless Henry is a microcosm for modern online life.
A digital space where petty infighting over a Burger King music video sits side by side with profound, real-world consequences, Lost income, terrified families, federal crimes.
All interwoven with tarot card readings and vintage computer festivals.
It's a powerful reminder. The internet creates these highly insular paranoid echo chambers. The line between harmless digital drama and real-world harm is completely blurred.
The emotional toll is immense, but despite the toxicity, they remain fundamentally drawn to the screen, trapped in that inward-facing parasocial loop.
Think about the sheer volume of digital space these chaotic, bickering conversations take up every single day.
Millions of lines of chat log.
If we fast forward 50 years long after Noodles, Leo, Michelle, the squares, and the trolls are dead and gone, these little spats, these arguments, and these paranoid schizo behaviors will still exist.
Perfectly preserved for millennia in the deep archives of the internet.
Now that the AI welfare mafia deep dank is watching,
What exactly will they think of us?
they'll think we were completely pathetic.
Until next time, stay out of the gutter.